Good morning and welcome to Outnumbered on Oweleketv. It's another wonderful day right here. And this is that time when we bring you to speed with the headlines for today from different dailies. My name is Ramsey Enoch and I have Michael Deacon right here. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Ramsey.
And I also have to my right here today, Antonia Wokolo. Good morning, Antonia.
Good morning, Ramsey.
All right, let's quickly bring to you the headlines for today. And the first paper that we want to look at this morning is the Vanguard newspaper. The big headline from the Vanguard said, kidnappers shoot at moving vehicle, man abducted, wife injured. That you can get on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Then another headline here says, ECOWAS, we are ready to engage Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. That is coming from the federal government. The details of that you can get on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Then we also have another headline here which says $20 billion Dangote refinery to import crude from United States. Well, we thought the crude is going to be from here, but then it's going to be imported from the United States. That's about the Dangote refineries. And the details of that you can actually get on page 17 of the Vanguard newspaper. And that's going to be the size of the headlines from the Vanguard this morning. Let's quickly get to Michael as he brings us to speed with the next headline.
All right, from the Guardian newspaper this morning has it as a big story. A single-use plastic ban in Lagos as businesses shop for alternatives, advocate incentivize recycling. And of course, that can be found on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. 2,423 people killed, 1,872 kidnapped in 8 months under Tinubu. You can actually get the story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Nigeria, Ghana lead West Africa's identity fraud cases. What a bad identity. You can actually see that, get the story more on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. EFCC arrange impeach Ogun speaker over alleged 2.5 billion naira fraud. And the last story I'm going to take on the Guardian this morning says, money supply grows by 50% in 12 months. Compounds inflation. Over to you, Tonya.
Okay, so on the Nation newspaper, the big story there, security men raise bar in battle against kidnappers. Air Force bombs terrorists. Army, police rescue scores from abductors. You can find that story on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Another story making waves here is sign attendance register daily. Governor orders cancel chairman. You can find that story on page 29 of the Nation newspaper. Russia behind Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, ECOWAS quit threat. That story is on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. CBN injects $500 million into forex market. We can find that story on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Ibadan blast, Makinde lashes Atiku. These are the stories that make the Nation newspaper today.
All right, let's quickly move from the Nations and get to the Daily Trust and see how trustworthy the Daily Trust is going to be this morning. One of the big stories from the Daily Trust this morning says that ECOWAS crisis, Nigeria at receiving end. You should know that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the one in charge of ECOWAS, and the quitting of Burkina Faso, Mali, and of course, Niger. They said Nigeria is going to be at the receiving end. But why should it be like that? Well, 3 riders to that story. The first rider says citizens will require visa to travel across exiting countries. If you want to go to Niger Republic now, where we share common border, you will need to get a visa. You know, that's one of the hit that is going to come from this quit. And the second rider said terrorists might up their game. Security experts are already warning, you know, the security situation in the country at this point in time. It's going to escalate. If this people quit, you know what's going to be, because somehow Nigeria is going to look like an enemy somehow of Niger. And, you know, the border will be open to terrorists from there, even though there is suspicion that some of the terrorism coming into Nigeria, the terrorists coming into Nigeria, the terrorists are actually coming from Niger. Then the last writer said, we will be poorer, all right? That is coming from Duns. Then this headline says, Naira plunged to 1,500 per dollar at parallel market. That's not a good news at all. What will happen to those who are schooling abroad, who will have to pay their fees in dollars? Well, I don't know what's happening in this country at this very particular point in time. Then finally, from the Daily Trust newspaper, I have this headline which says, Supreme Court, the Kano governor denies a striking deal with Tinubu. I never struck any deal with Tinubu. That is coming from Kano State. Well, the details of that you can get from the Daily Trust newspaper. So all you have to do is just walk down to the vendors and pick any of these copies that actually catches your fancy, and you can go through it for yourself. Let's go on a quick break. When we return from this break, we'll bring to you the big story. And I tell you the truth, it's actually a big story and it's going to be of interest to you. So don't go anywhere. We will be back after this break.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleket.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Yes, it's good to still have you right there. This is one of the most important things you've done today. Stay very close to your screen to be part of the big story. Well, it's still Ramsey, Michael, and Antonia. And we want to bring to you the big story. What's the big story all about? It's no longer news that kidnapping has been the order of the day, and not just kidnapping, but then people are being killed at the process. Some persons are being kidnapped and they don't return, whether or not ransom is being paid. Let's look at the big story from here today, as it is going to come from the Guardian newspaper. We told you during the headlines that 2,423 people killed, then 1,872 kidnapped in 8 months of Tinubu's administration. Is that not alarming? Is that not so uncalled for? What would you say? What would you say? People losing their loved ones every time, every day, keep happening. And it appears as if we don't have security agencies anymore, but we have service chiefs on seat. What's happening? Just within this short time, it's months. Look at the statistics. It could even be more. You know, sometimes these things we don't seem to get the actual number of people that have been kidnapped and people that have been killed. Some persons are even being killed without anyone knowing. So, in other words, the statistics could even be more than this. But then, I don't know. 8 months. One of the things that Nigerians actually cried for when President Tinubu was coming into office and the assurance was given is the fact that insecurity was the order of the day, kidnapping, abduction, you know, a whole lot. And look at the statistics that we have today. A lot of families have been thrown into mourning, into groaning. Children have become fatherless. Wives have become widows. And husbands, widowers. This is the situation we've found ourselves in at this very particular point in time. This is 8 months. What's going to happen in the next 1 year if nothing is being done about insecurity in this country? Well, let's add our voice to the conversation. My colleagues in the studio will have to add their voice to the conversation right here. Michael, let me begin from you this morning. You know, this insecurity, like a joke, is getting out of hand. In 8 months, look at the statistics that we have. People that we have been kidnapped and people that are being killed. It is so unfortunate that even after paying ransom, these people still go ahead to kill. I don't know. What do you think? In the next 1 year, this is just 8 months. Can you say this the government is being insensitive, or they are doing their best? What do you think? Because they will always tell you we are on top of our game.
No, statistics like this makes us to still call on our governor of Imo State, Obuzodinma, who recently said that 8 months is not enough for us to judge the president regarding, the economy and all of that. And then you now look at the issue of insecurity. You see that is an aspect where this government have not made an attempt, to addressing, some of these things that has always been, the issue of kidnapping, the issue of, the murder cases that we are having in the country is as a result of the fact that, security agencies are not doing enough. You see that even the roads, the interstate travels, you see that it's quite very open for these guys to take advantage. And most of these kidnapping are always on the road. It's just on few statistics cases that we find, where the kidnappers have actually started invading, the Federal Capital Territory to go into X state, to kidnap people. But one of these concerns has always been, what are the security chiefs doing? These are the questions we need to ask. The Inspector General of Police, on the day he was, of course, appointed by the president, he promised Nigerians that the president has said, he's hitting the ground running from there. He was saying that the men are ready, he's ready, and all of that. These are the promises, even the chief of army staff.
But then, if these things happen more on the road, and we have police checkpoints, sometimes you see them in meters.
If you go to these police checkpoints, some of these guys are not well armed. The interventions or the locations of the government to the security agencies are not well managed. You see, guns are not being given to these guys. Some of the guns that they are using, there are no bullets. And if in case the kidnappers come in and start firing.
So what are they doing on the road? What are they doing on the road if they don't have
So
any
these guys
space
are also being in danger they are put into danger. And when the kidnappers come, or when they have an attack like this, they run away. Or they come after 10 minutes that they have left. That's the cases that happen in Nigeria. Have you ever called the police to come and respond to a crisis and they come immediately?
I'm not saying one complaint or the other.
So until the security agencies are well empowered, until the chiefs themselves, not just, they are well empowered. Until the security chiefs need to understand that lives of Nigerians are really important. Excess of government is to protect the properties and lives of the people. And we cannot give the basic protection of lives and even our properties. Then it's worrisome. There's no government. So people will begin to take laws into their hands. And that was when some senators, I think the senator from Anambra State, have proposed, Delta State, Mogo, have proposed that they should allow Nigerians to start carrying their guns. Because we have to start protecting ourselves in the cases of self-defense.
All right, in the cases of self-defense, Ned Nwoko actually proposed that, okay, at the house. But then, carrying of guns, how possible could that be in Nigeria? All right, let's get to Sonia. Sonia, you heard what Michael said and the background that I gave. Insecurity, 2,000, then you have 1,000 kidnapped, then over 2,000 been killed. It's not just all about being kidnapped, but then you kidnap people, they still pay ransom, and these people have been killed. All right, NCC, we seems we have been registered. And these people, these kidnappers, make calls to ask for ransom, and they are not being tracked. Nothing is being done. Are you seeing a lacuna? Are you seeing a problem, a loophole from that axis? That is one. Then secondly, let's come to it. What do you think should be done? Michael said something. He said sometimes this kidnap is done on the highway, even though they are getting into premises now. One of my church members was just followed to the gate of his estate, I think just a few weeks ago. Despite that, why are the security agencies not well equipped to combat these kidnappers and these terrorists?
Addressing the insecurity and kidnapping and abductions in Nigeria, there are different aspects to it, which we just highlighted. So first of all, someone has been abducted. These kidnappers will demand for ransom. These are the different loopholes. These are the different gaps that need to be filled to ensure that the lives of Nigerians are safeguarded. Because, for instance, when they call to ask for ransom, why don't we have a system that tracks them? The service providers monitor the calls. Why don't we have a system that monitors this and makes sure that these calls are tracked and the locations are tracked, and we can security agents can go there and release these people? Now, another thing is it's so sad because you can't even move freely again. Not just on the highway, but even in your streets, even in local communities. Those people that are, those areas that are not developed, not like the towns, they are the ones that even bear the brunt of this kidnapping, because it's more like they have nowhere to run, no safe space. Even where they call a safe space is no longer safe, because constantly abductors are on the leash.
All right, as it is right now, nowhere is safe, because these kidnappers even get into people's houses. They penetrate the estates and they do the kidnapping. But then the question is this: if any other crime is being committed by the common Nigerians, NCC and these service providers have a way of tracking the phone number of the perpetrators of this crime. Why not do same, all right, for kidnappers and people who are into the business of killing other persons? Because nobody's blood is worth shedding. I think at this point in time, we need to talk to the government. They should rise to the occasion.
Because
the president,
away from even tracking, you know, the lines and all of this, the bedrock of all of this is that government must rise to the fact that we are having high rate of, you know, unemployment, hunger in the land,
and this could lead to.
These are leading, not just could.
And will push people to want
Definitely.
to do things
the guys that are doing
one
chances on the road.
Yeah.
You feel that they are okay doing it. A woman was interviewed, those that have been arrested, that it's out of hunger, that he doesn't have a job, and then those guys came to call her. I mean, you know now that they are using a women inside the car, for instance.
Yeah.
So when you see a lady, when you see a lady, even an old one,
you
so
feel comfortable to enter the vehicle.
That's the strategy these guys are using. And these women or these set of people are hungry, vulnerable, and then they're open to this, you know, kind of wrong opportunities. So government must begin to engage Nigerians, because if you don't engage the population, you know, there's no amount of guns or whatever security strategy that you bring that will combat these issues.
Even the Bible says an idle heart is the workshop of the devil.
So that's what government must do.
People have been taken advantage of because of the situation, economic situation and hardship. All right, this is going to be the size of our number today. You need to be security conscious. Whatever you do, wherever you go, men, you don't need to go out at night, late night. No. Please be conscious of where you go to and the people around you. Well, be self-protected. I didn't say carry gun, but protect yourself. All right.
We will get there.
All right. Thank you for keeping it date with us. We'll come on your way again. Bye-bye for now. It's been Ramsey, Tonia, and of course, Michael. Have a beautiful day.